Welcome back to the Finnish Legacy Nationals. We are starting top 8 here. My name is Antto Kaipanen, here with me is Rope Metsä. How are we feeling about the top 8?
Well, it's a great top 8 with a lot of psychic frogs, as someone could have expected. But we have a match coming up between Lepistö and Koskelo, and let's move right into it.
Absolutely. The players are there ready to start with the mulligan done as well for our enjoyment. And funny enough, this is the one of the only matches where there are no psychic frogs.
Yes, and the other tables will have a lot of them. So
Absolutely. Here we see both players have appeared in the camera before. Joonas Koskelo playing Eldrazi Zombie, and Pekka Lepistö playing Sneak and Show.
it's an interesting matchup. I don't believe it's a very good matchup for the Eldrazi side, being a little limited on the interaction side, and obviously Sneak and Show being very fast
That is very
combo
true.
deck.
The Eldrazi is actually a little bit resilient for Show and Tell specifically, as they can bounce Emrakuls and whatnot.
Yeah,
But outside of that, Eldrazi still has very fast clocks. It can go very fast in the face. There's a chance that the Sneak and Show doesn't actually catch up with that, but we will see how it goes.
yeah. Once upon a time, being cast and found the Miko spawn, I believe.
Yes, I believe that would be correct. Such a powerful card. This is one of the few matches where it might be just a little bit too slow.
Yes. And Aya Fug in the first land for the turn. Looks like there's a one ring and
One ring and lots of glare.
yes, that is correct. That's just a flooded strand for Pekka.
Yeah. He doesn't really need to go super fast as long as there is no pressure already from Joonas' side, I would say. Of course, he wants to get the combo fast. He wants to kill opponent, so there's no chance of actually getting beat down. But playing a fetch land is a very safe bet at this point of the game.
Yes. Now Jonas had at least an ancient tomb. Not sure if he has a thought not zero or some other Eldrazi to cast with it. Looks like it's gonna be a Flesh Raker.
Absolutely. One of the better ways to do clock on this matchup, I would say.
Yeah. A surprisingly powerful card. Did not look very powerful to me, at least when I saw it the first time, but it has made its way to multiple decks actually.
Yeah, the way not only does it help you with the race by pinging and whatnot, but it also creates all of those tokens, which also accelerate your fast starts.
Yeah, and
I think the most unfair feeling hands from Eldrazi Stampy actually come with the Flesh Raker.
yeah, and also one of the big weaknesses being the moon type of hate cards. The Flesh Raker actually, if you get some of the tokens, then you can cast your spells, and then it generates more spawns to cast the rest of your spells, and suddenly the moon effect is not so bad for the deck.
That is absolutely how Jonas won his game on stream earlier today against Moon Stampy.
And
And here, there's a Force of Will after doing a surveil check. Forcing with the Force, which I don't think is unreasonable.
yeah, especially if Jonas won't have a second Flesh Raker as a follow-up with the 1 mana floating, it could be a pretty bad news. Otherwise, so Force seems reasonable here.
I very much say that Top Notch here is at the point where it starts to look very good for Jonas.
Yes.
If he has one, I don't think he has. The one card we know for sure is the One Ring and the Mug Spawn.
Yes, and I believe
It's taking 2 and casting Tough Notch here, exactly.
yeah.
Alright. and there's no counter spells at the point. So there's both the combo cards shown them as sneak and sneak attack, but there's no target for those.
Yeah, and taking the show and also having drawn a wasteland this turn does make it so Pekka is in a whole lots of trouble here with
Absolutely.
the thought not seer staring down the board and wasteland coming up to kill a land possibly, or was it not the wasteland? Huh. Do
Joonas needs to be mindful at this point of his life total though as well.
yeah.
Uh, Getting the sneak attack on the battlefield does make it so that if Joonas takes any more damage, Pekka can finish the game with just one.
Oh, this is gonna
Drive.
be a brutal.
Yeah,
Michael spawn to get a wasteland and then probably wastelanding one of the lands with,
absolutely.
I believe, another one in hand for the next turn. It's gonna be rough for Pekka to ever get to 4 mana.
Yeah. They can pass in turn back to Pekka. Yeah, even getting some sort of fast land for Pekka doesn't really feel that good at this point. He also needs to find the answer or the threat to actually bring the win.
Yes.
Here we see so in Magaspan on the camera as well. We haven't still seen it kicked, but when it does, oh boy, that's one of the first feelings I could feel as a Magic player.
Yeah. And it's another one of those doesn't look that good, but when you play against it, it feels like very dominant card. Especially the 6 mana mode, getting a wasteland and exiling your land. Suddenly, you don't have any mana left, and at that point, even the 3/3 body starts to be annoying.
Absolutely. Jonas went for the 7 to the head, and now tapping everything. Is it a
Yes,
B?
it's gonna be a ring.
I like the ring here as well. It's
Yeah.
a very safe play for Jonas for sure. He is going down to 14, that is 13 on his turn, so he... Well, he can die to Emrakul right now. He has protection from damage.
Yeah, and he does have the wasteland in hand still.
Going for the land drop, which
Yeah.
is the wasteland. There's also a chalice and lotus petal, is that right?
Yes.
And a torque card. There's a
So
petal.
petal and chalice for 1.
I,
Or
ooh, even better, I would say.
oh,
This is lethal on board.
yeah,
So Pekka needs to find something right now, and I don't think there is one card that does it.
yeah. Showing the come at me. I believe it was
All right, that is
yeah,
the start.
vexing bauble and
And
a
that's-
concession.
All right. Whew, that was a very powerful start from Joonas Koskelo for the game 1 with Eldrazi Stumpy. Going for the second game, players do you have 90 minutes to play their round, so they actually might take a little bit on sideboarding decisions. Let's take a look at Joonas Koskelo's sideboard on the Eldrazi Stumpy. There are dismembers, doesn't really do much on this match. Fair Macabre, same over there. Null Rot, not really exciting either. Mindbreak traps are not something that I would assume to be good on this matchup either.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird. I don't think any of the cards are particularly good, but
I would say that Wastecape Battle Mage is surprisingly good on this match.
okay.
As triggers, which are the exile effect or the bounce, they are both cast triggers. So it goes around Emrakul's protection from spells,
Yeah,
and it's a very good answer to fast sneak without activation as well.
yeah,
There's also Maze of Ith, which is possible to add, but I'm not very excited about that.
yeah. Don't really wanna be maze of hitting the Emrakul. That is hitting you with the Annihilator trigger for sure. But yeah, the Eldrazi deck doesn't really need much or it doesn't really have a bad card for the matchup either.
That is very much true.
One ring can be a little bit slow. I think that could be cut. And yeah, I'm not sure what else you need really. And obviously the other side, Pekka has two Magos of the Moons, which are for sure coming in, and Consigned to Memories, which are also very good in the matchup.
Absolutely. The Fury, I would say that it's reasonable as well
Yeah.
as one of. Maybe even a Meltdown, but there wasn't that many artifacts on Koskelo's side last
Yeah.
game.
Obviously, Vexing Bobo not really doing anything in this matchup. Mostly just hurting your own stuff, and Flusterstorm also very fringe, only hitting the Cosilex command.
That is very true. We can also see from the main deck that it is not just Emrakuls that are the threats of the deck. There's also Atraxas, this Crystal Brands as well. So there is actually, it is the common kind of package that there's 8 total targets for them. But looking at all of these, I still don't think that there would be any different things coming actually in from the sideboard. All like bouncing something like Atraxa doesn't really sound
Yeah.
fun most of the
I
time.
mean, Upgrade is interesting. It does kill some of the things like Fleshraker, and then it also is a decent answer for Chalice. It's something you can for sure consider. Chalice not really being the worst card for the show and tell deck.
It is
Only,
very annoying, but doesn't really.
yeah, it's annoying, but you can still work with it, unlike with many other blue decks.
Absolutely. Seems like the players are getting done with the sideboard, if I'm not wrong. So we are going back to the match. So we are at the top 8 on the first quarterfinal game over here, with Eldrazi Zombie against Sneak and Show.
Yeah, obviously the top 3 players getting to the European Legacy Masters.
Absolutely, which are being held next year at Belgium. Not sure of the exact place, but early. Ooh, we see the sideboard from
Yeah.
Koskelo. Thank you very much. So there was Mesophytes. I was just surprised to see them, so I actually blacked out a little bit. Was it
Yeah.
Dismembers? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Dismembers for, well, I guess Magos of the Moon being the target, or
Very true.
Harbinger, which it does deal with, and is something you really need to deal with. It's like kind of the worst possible card
That is
for
very
the
much true.
Eldrazi deck.
And the last card was so there was 2 Dismembers, there was the Mesophytes, and there was the 4th card as well. Which one was it?
Yeah, not.
It was right in the front of it, but I just
Yeah,
got so
I
amazed
didn't-
for the fact that we actually saw them
Yeah,
that I forgot.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either, but
It felt like a colorless card, and not like it could very much be one battle mage,
yeah.
which I was thinking about. And likely was. Chat, did you catch the card for us? We would very much love the help. All right,
Yeah,
Pekka
well,
instead.
looks like we're going back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Players still a little bit thinking more about their mulligan choices. Pekka feels very happy with
Okay.
what he's been doing. But
Well, there's gonna be some additional sideboarding.
maybe that looks like. Yeah, those are the 2.
Yeah, the 2 battle mages coming in.
So I still have no idea what was the the 4th card in the last batch of cards about. Hey, we're gonna be fine. We already know basically what the plan for Joonas is on the sideboard, and that is all that matters here.
Yeah, some Jonas does not have the flutes, which are a common option for the Eldrazi deck to deal with these types of decks.
Yes,
Having naming stuff like show and tell and killing before the 5 mana is relevant is
yes.
something that happens quite
Like-
often.
and even just naming sneak attack is already very powerful. Even if it's not on the board, even if it's not doing anything else, just making sure that that one doesn't do anything is very important at times. All right, our players are doing the mulligans. This point, looking at the sevens. Pekka is on the play, as it is. And with the battle mage, we see at least one petal, wastelands.
Yeah, looks to be a little slower side on Joonas's hand with, I
Just the
believe,
blast.
Yavimaya and Wasteland being the only lands, which is not optimal. Generally, I haven't had much experiences with the deck, but I feel like you should be mulliganing pretty aggressively to things like Ancient Tomb and Eye of Fugin.
That very much sounds like the plan.
And
overall.
there is a mulligan from Joonas's side.
Yeah, the colorless mana especially is so much more important than it was before. Even when we got the classic Eldrazi Winter cards back in the day, we got Dark Seers, we got Reality Smashers, whatnot. They did need that one colorless mana at some point of the game, but it wasn't that important to have that one mana.
Yeah.
You still have plenty of cards which were just pure colorless. These days, Eldrazi Stampede cards actually need one or even two of the colorless mana very early on to get the effect going, which does change the dynamic quite a bit. It looks like Pekka is keeping the 7, which is very bad news for Koskelo.
Yeah. Especially on the play, it can be a pretty quick match.
This is one of the match where turn 1 show until does close out the game. Quite fast.
So, let's see, it's looking like a hand with 2 wastelands, a chalice. Not sure if there's a...
You guys have at least one creature on the left side.
Yeah. It does look to keep it.
Alright, Pekka starting with Sculling turn and passing the turn right away.
Yeah. Joonas drawing a battle match for his turn. Spring Wasteland. Which does lead to the question whether Pekka wants to get the surveying land even at the cost of possibly getting Wastelander here.
Depends a lot on the rest of his hand. We do have some extra information from the rest of the games that we have at the moment. Eloranta is playing against Pekka and doing 1-0. On the second table, Nousiainen versus Heimonen. Nousiainen is also leading 1-0. Heimola. Alright, now we have it all the way on our screen as well. Heikkala is has mulligan to 6 on the second game over there, and we have the third game with Mäkelä versus Turnström, where Mäkelä is leading 1-0 with our actually quite varied top 8, even though we have quite a lot of Psychic Frogs in the mix, but we still have lots of very different decks here as well. And we are getting back to the match. Alright, so it was an island that was fetched.
Yeah, and the follow-up obviously being show and tell. It's not good news for Joonas. And, well, obviously it is gonna resolve, but the players thinking what to put into play.
I would say overall that Joonas getting any kind of mana sources extras over there is the ideal solution.
Yes.
Oh, Zofnot's here getting that Emrakul out. What is the last card in there? Is it land? It's 2 Emrakuls.
No, it's
that's
a
Griselbrand
and Emrakul. This is a...
yeah, that's very bad news for Joonas.
It is.
I think this was the best case scenario for Koskelo for that card that was brought down. But yeah, Koskelo knows that
not even gonna look what the Griselbrand is gonna draw.
Yeah.
Obviously quite reasonable with the 14 draws coming up. Omniscience in play.
I mean, just by having the Dosnots here on the table and having cards with cast triggers on the hand, I would say that there was multiple ways for Koskelo to actually get in the game, but
Yeah.
he needed to get some very precise draws in there, getting Lotus Petals into the battle mage exactly,
Yeah.
so he could bounce it and then go for the lethals. And there couldn't be any stifles, there couldn't be anything else extra.
Yeah.
Not to speak about getting the Emrakul and extra turn right away.
Yeah. But
All right. So looking at this, so we know that there was okay. So it must have been three
yeah, I
dismembers
guess
from
it was
Koskelo
3 dismembers and the
and the maze
maze of it.
plus 2 battle mages. That is quite a lot. Would you think that he would reduce the number of dismembers on the play?
Mm,
Would that make any sense to you?
I think it's fair. And depends also, like, I don't know, like, maybe he knows that there's the Maguses, like, and he's scared. It kind of depends. I think it's reasonable to leave, like, some of them out. Obviously, it is a dead card in, like, a lot of the games.
And maybe even getting one of those mazes of Ith out. On the screen we have some of the key cards from Koskelo's deck. Devourer of Destiny, we haven't really seen it in action this game, but it's one of the very great new ways for Eldrazi decks to shape their hand into their liking. Glaring Fresh Raker, we've been singing a lot today, talking a lot about it today, as well as so in Mega Spawn. All of these 3 very new and exciting cards, and also good old Tough Nuts here, still making it to the deck.
Yeah. It's too bad the Reality Smasher has seen its glory days go by. It's
5 mana 5/5 with haste. Not cutting it anymore is a sad day
Yeah.
indeed.
thought not still very strong in the deck.
I remember when Eldrazi decks were coming in during the summer when we got the Modern Horizons 3. There was a lot of talks about cutting Tough Nuts here from the deck altogether and going more of aggressive plans and just forgetting the 4 mana Eldrazi's, focusing on the new good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad that we see it coming back to the deck. It gives some extra versatility to the deck. I would
Yeah.
say.
Obviously it does get better with the Myco spawn as well. Like when the wasteland plan is kind of real, like it can actually lock people down with a combination of Thought-Knot and some wastelands. It makes sense, and I'm glad Eldrazi Mimic is gone. I hated that card so much.
It was one of the cards that could make the deck so explosive, but at the same time, it didn't really provide that much to the actual game.
Yeah, and sometimes you would just see the nuts with all the mimics from the Eye of Ugin, and then the Thought-Knot Seer follow up, and just dying on turn 2.
The best of times, the worst of times. Players are ready. Do you think of their mulligans at the moment? I think they're both still at 7, at the look of it.
So
And here we see the Dream Devourer from Joonas.
yeah, so he's gonna keep the hand, and well, you get to reveal it and look at the top 4
So,
cards and keep one of them on top, exiling the rest.
one thing that is very important for the Dream Devourer, you don't need to keep any of the cards if you don't like any of them in the match.
Yeah.
You can just actually exile all of them,
Yeah.
which makes the card very dynamic indeed.
So apparently there was some discussion and now resolving the Devourer trigger.
There's 2 chalices. Is it just 2 Yavimayas? At least one of them was Yavimaya.
Yeah. Not sure what the card being on top.
It felt like it was also Yavimaya.
Yeah.
And Joonas on the play. Playing Eldrazi Temple. And that brings out Eat That Heroes.
Yeah, one of the cards I really don't understanding the deck, kind of. Maybe as I know I have only played it from the frog side of the matchup, but that card really doesn't do much. It's like, your opponent plays Ancient Tomb, and then the spell of choice is in that herald, and you're like, whoo.
Yeah,
It's,
but at the same time, it creates the most explosive starts that the deck has. For example,
yeah,
next turn he could do easily 16 damage.
yeah,
Like easily, he still does need some very specific cards to make that happen. But have a board full of 1/1s, all of them being one with the Flesh Raker as well. Do
yeah,
lots of very scary things. But we'll see how it will go. I could see one ring in Koskelo's hand as well. And
so,
we are getting to the board. 2 damage
yeah.
in from Koskelo, playing Yavimaya, yeah, that is what it was.
Chat is
And playing
say,
Flesh Raker.
chat is saying that there is some problems with the sound. Oh,
Alright,
but apparently it's just fine for others.
and here we have Lepistö brainstorming end of Koskelo's turn, if I saw that correct. Alright, Flesh Raker in the play does mean that Koskelo could do some very nasty turns next turn. I think I saw one Kozilek's command in there.
Yeah, obviously, Flash Raker triggering from all of the colorless spells is something that is a little bit unintuitive for, as you won't expect it only triggering from Eldrazi spells. Just Lotus Petal making 2 mana suddenly is
It's crazy
it's
strong.
crazy.
And also pinging at on the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is all sounding very good. Sounding good for us for sure. Lepis is still thinking on brainstorm at the moment. Going much on the tank. This is one of the most important decisions of his day for sure. On the top
Yeah.
8 of the events.
so
So I think that this. So the brainstorm was in response to the Flash Striker.
yeah, and Flash Raker does resolve. It could be an explosive turn for Pekka as well. Here with possible show and tell or sneak attack action.
He was thinking for so long that I don't believe that he has either of those right now.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we will see something happening right now. He did play the land, so there's no extra manas coming yet. Go for the Volcanic Island. There's in case Pekka has a second petal on his hand, he could do something like Ponder, Petal, and Show and Tell, which would make a lot of sense. And that would be the worst case scenario for Koskelo for sure. But I have no idea what's going to happen here for sure.
yeah, the log break from the brainstorm definitely was suspicious. And but also the long pause from the
We got some extra information from other tables. Nosianen has won their top 8 match, going to top 4. With the Stifle Nuts deck, basically all the way back from 2019, with just a handful of new cards. This is very exciting indeed, I cannot lie. The rest of the table is still playing on their games 2 as well, us being here on the game 3 of the quarterfinals.
looks like. Do we have a judge call? No. It's just a very long thinking for
Yeah.
Pekka.
Players do have 90 minutes for the round,
Yeah.
so it is very fair that they also get to use a little bit more time for all the thinking as well. It is not easy plays to do, and the day has been very long for both players.
Yeah.
Getting the little bit extra allows both players to play more clearly, actually make good decisions instead of being too rushed and whatnot. and also just makes the gaming area feel more relaxed. There's the ponder from Lepistö, going for the top and drawing.
Yeah. Looks to be happy with the top card of his deck. Not going for the shuffle, but
Is at the same time it is. Oh, there's a monkey. All right, so it might be show and tell time after all.
yep, does look to be show and tell, and here is the namesake card of the deck.
I wonder what Pekka has in his hand. Well, we will see soon. I would say. So now
Yes.
lot of things depending on Koskelo's response as well. If it's just Griselbrand or Atraxa, I think Koskelo has very real chances of still winning for sure. If it is Emrakul, I think same applies there as well.
Yeah,
Not that much issues coming for Koskelo's way, but if it's exactly whatchamacallit, Omniscience, that would be that would break the game likely on Koskelo's side.
yeah. There's a Devourer, Thought Not Seer. Probably gonna drop that Thought Not Seer if I had to guess.
I
There's
do
a
as
One
well.
Ring also, which is reasonable. Okay, there's a Nemrakul versus the Thought Not Seer.
Alright. I think that looks like a brainstorm going
Yeah.
away. And there's Atraxa, which is not being cast very soon with this hand.
Yeah, and the City of Traitors being the other card. Well, things are not looking simple for Joonas. He does have One Ring, but it's... Maybe you can generate some tokens. I guess
There
you
might
do
have
that.
been one missed ping from the Fleshraker. Is it
Yeah.
from when the creature enters the battlefield?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that one is probably missed, but it's probably not gonna come to the 1 damage. And
It might have been okay, looks like Koskelo did not draw a land in there
yeah,
to get more into the board. And that's the game for the players. Joonas scoops it up with Lepistö going 2-1 on the top 8, advancing all the way to the top 4 of the event. Sneak and Shell still doing it year after year.
yep. One of the decks that actually has survived through the years.
Every set there's also always the thinking process of is there any new threats coming in? Lately it has been Atraxa last year that we got
Yep.
into the deck. But outside of that, the deck hasn't really changed in the last 10 years, I would
Yeah.
say.
Sometimes being changed, like whether you play the Omniscience or not, and there are some decisions, like some rotating members coming in and out.
Absolutely. Like at some point there was Bunt's version which was playing Uros and one as a
Yeah.
secondary way to close out the games. But I think at this point we will be going for a short break. We will figure out what we will be bringing you guys for the next round. And we will be seeing you guys soon.
Yes.
Welcome back to the Finnish Legacy National stream of 2024. Here with me we have now Pekka Lepistö, who just won his quarterfinal match and is advancing to the semifinals of the event. How are you feeling?
Great, great. And of course, unfortunately, Jontu had to lose this time. He's a long-time friend of mine, but we had a very good 3 games and it was fun.
Yeah, the games definitely were good games of Magic.
Mhm.
And the games ended on your side as you would really much want to, very explosively, not giving Jontu the time to actually get back in the game with the deck.
Yes. Only on the first game I decided to put the Lotus Pedal on their graveyard, and I could have made the show and tell on for the following turn, but I didn't have any fat creature to put on, so maybe that was a mistake, but really hard to say.
And that is very much true. Let's discuss your deck a little bit about. We were just talking about how Sneak and Show has been very resilient on the meta for a very long time. Hasn't really changed that much. Still the core Show and Tell, Sneak Attack, Ancient Tomb still existing. But you wanted to pull out the Vexing Bubble as one of the new exciting cards that actually do bring a lot of value to the deck.
Yes, that is true. It protects your combo, and you can always cycle it. So, extremely valuable card for this deck.
How do you feel about like what comes to my mind is Vexing Bubble being a little bit in restrictions with Omniscience itself?
Oh yeah, that is true. But you can always cycle it or decide not to use the Omniscience. You can always side either out or in. So
That is very much true. Speaking of the rest of the deck, again, the deck hasn't changed really much. Now, Atraxa and Bubble being the two new cards in the deck. Atraxa obviously being, as a one-time effect, more powerful than Griselbrand, but how do you feel about the deck itself? I feel like you have been playing with the deck for a long time.
actually, I haven't play tested any with this deck, and I just came to play with it. So I know the deck like from the old days, but we just added new cards, and that's it. So you can basically autopilot it.
That is what I remember many of the players
yes.
telling about the deck for a long time, and it is very linear.
Yeah,
It gives
yeah,
free
yes.
wins, so to say, as well. But it also has very good. It is very resilient as well.
Yes, yes.
Going for the top 8 at the moment. We know that there's Stifle Nuts
Oh,
in the top 4 at the moment as well. We are still waiting for the two rest of the decks. I believe it was Frog matches, going vice versa a lot. What would you hope to face on the actual top 8s? Like we might actually have the bracket even somewhere ready.
oh. Okay. Basically, any deck. I'm just here to have fun, so it doesn't really matter.
That is the best kind of
Yes,
deck.
yes.
Thank you, Pekka, for coming to the interview.
Of course.
We will have a short break, and then we will be continuing with the top 8. Very soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.